In this video, we're going to take a look at how to back up a WordPress website. Next, we're going to take a look at how to update a WordPress installation. Now what we're going to do is we're going to install a plugin that will enable us to back up our WordPress installation. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to come down to where it says Add New under Plugins. We're going to search for a plugin called Back WP Up, and then we're going to search plugins. So the first result is the plugin that we want to install, so I'm going to click the Install Now button and OK. So the plugin has been installed. I'm going to activate the plugin. Now that the plugin has been activated, I'm going to click the Settings option. Before we can perform a backup, we need to add a job. So I'm going to come up to the top here and click the Add New tab. In the Add New area, we're going to leave the defaults as they are, which by default will do a complete database backup and a complete file backup. So I'm going to name this backup Complete Backup. Before I click the Save Changes button, what I want to do is I want to point out some certain areas of this plugin. Now, one of the things that we can do is we can actually activate scheduling, which will allow us to schedule different backups at different times depending on our preference. The nice thing about scheduling a backup is we have a few different options about what we can do with it. So as an example, we could just back it up to a folder on our web server. We could get it sent by email. The downside with that is that with email there's a certain limitations of file sizes. So in the beginning it might be alright, but in the future if you have a lot of pictures, images, and media on your website, it could create a large backup which would be impossible to email. You could back it up to an alternative FTP server. What I generally do is I use Dropbox. So you can link your Dropbox account if you have one and send the backups to that folder. There are a few other options for backup, including SugarSync, Amazon, and Google, Microsoft, and Rackspace. It's up to you to decide which backup method you would like to choose. I recommend Dropbox as the one that I use and the easiest one to set up. When you've added your settings and you've completed everything, what you want to do is you want to come back up to the top and you want to click the Save Changes button. Now when I do this, it's going to create my first backup. So now that I've done that, I'm going to take a look at the jobs overview, and now we can see the backup that has just been finished. The nice thing about this plugin is it allows you to do a manual backup, but it also allows you to do a scheduled backup, which means that if you forget to do a backup, the backup still takes place. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is how to do an update. And the reason that I wanted to show you the backups before we do the updates is that I do highly recommend that whenever you're going to update your WordPress installation that you perform a complete backup first. So let's take a look at updates that you'll find underneath the dashboard section. So we're going to click Updates, and we're going to be taken to the WordPress Updates area. Now, unfortunately, this WordPress installation is a brand new installation, which means everything is up to date. I'm going to take you to another site in order to show you how to update WordPress. So now that we're in the WordPress Updates area of another site, what you'll notice is the different things that will be updated on your WordPress website. The first thing is the WordPress installation itself. The next thing is all the plugins that require updating. And finally, an update to all the existing themes. So if we come back to the top, and you'll notice in this big yellow box, what it tells you is that you should do your backups before you do your updates. Since I've already performed the backups, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each item and update it. I'm going to start with the WordPress installation, and I'm going to click the Update Now button. Now that the WordPress update has completed, I'm going to come back to the Updates area, and I'm going to update the plugins. Now, I have two other plugins here that I'm going to update. What I recommend doing is that you select one, then you update that plugin before you proceed and update the second plugin. If there is a problem with the plugin updates, at least you'll know which plugin caused the problem and you can go back and remove it. So now that this plugin has completed, I'm going to return to the WordPress updates page and update the next plugin. Again, I'm going to check the box next to the plugin, click Update, update the plugin, return to WordPress updates, and now we've got a theme that needs to be updated. I'm going to again just click Update Themes and update the theme. I'm going to return to the WordPress updates page, and what you'll notice is that there is nothing else that needs to be updated. WordPress does issue updates on a regular basis, but what I advise doing is never updating on the day that the update has been released. I usually wait for a couple of days, do some research on the internet, and make sure that there is no problems with the latest updates of WordPress before I update to the newest version. And I recommend that you do the same. Before moving on to the next video, make sure that you have backed up your WordPress website and you've also updated your WordPress installation if there's anything that requires updating.